So I forgot to mention this morning that Tesla was at least had a chance that it could go up a lot today and find resistance at about, say, 270. Actually, I'm as shocked as anybody that we had that run up today. I would have never predicted it. So, however, given the price action today, I will, at the end of this video, give my slightly revised thinking for the rest of the week and into August. Overall, it doesn't change anything, but it does change it a little bit in the short term, obviously. All right, this is Randy Kirk. A little more here. Let me say a little bit more before I give you my normal intro. I know you probably want to skip past that part. Anyway, the stock market and Tesla stock seem to both have settled on a kind of new narrative. As I read dozens of analysts and economists and pundits and all the rest, there's plenty of disagreement, of course, about where the economy is going, where the stock market is going, where Tesla stock is going. But out of all that disagreement, there seems to be an essential impression of the future that is now at the base of how the stock market is trading and where people think the economy is going to go. This is a case where I'm looking for you today to really, really, really hit the comment section. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me where I've got this wrong. Tell me where I've got it right. I mean, seriously, I'd like to know the things that you think are correct. And, it's one thing to say, hey, Randy, that's right on. Boy, you've got it. You hit it 100%. It's another thing to say, oh, here's what I really like. This was spot on. Or here's why I think that was really good. And vice versa. Something that you don't agree with, give me some detail. I'd really love to hear the detail. Now, we'll talk about whose channel is this. It's my channel. It's Randy Kirk's channel. Let's talk about Patreon for just 1 minute. I'm now at 77 people on Patreon. Really super thankful for each and every one of those folks spending $5 to $10 a month to support the channel and make it worth my while to produce right now 21 videos last week. All right, I'd like to get that number up to 100, and if I could get 100 Patreons combined with the income I'm getting from YouTube, it would be very close to making it worthwhile in terms of what I think I'm worth per hour. Okay, that's what I'm shooting for right now, what I'm worth per hour. Not everybody gets paid what they're worth per hour, but I've always been paid what I was worth per hour, and I'd like to keep that going. All right, anyway, so hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Obviously, you want to be around. Later today, I am going to do haven't 100% decided. I am planning to do the next two quarters of what I'm expecting in terms of earnings. All right. Here's what I think that Mr. Market is thinking. I think they're thinking that the economy is on solid footing. Not going to go, they don't think that the GDP is going to go negative, not even for 1 quarter, but they also aren't expecting it to see 3% or even 2.5% raises in the GDP anytime soon. This is a so-so economy that is being nudged along by consumer spending that is possible because everybody's working and lots more folks are coming into the job market every single month, and they're getting paid a lot better. And inflation is under control, which is helping family to spend more on the discretionary or not essential items. This is again more thinking. I think what the folks out there are thinking that are playing the market right now and thinking about the economy, they believe that the aging auto fleet might start to have to be replaced. I'm thinking, and this is not what I don't think the market's thinking this yet, but I do think that I'm thinking that some people are going to wait because they want a good electric car. I do believe that the market is thinking that the industrial spending or corporate spending and government spending is not going to be where you're going to see a lot of the increase in the overall economy, which is one of the reasons we're going to stay in this 1%, 1.5%, maybe 2% GDP increases, because we're not going to see any of that money coming in yet. So the predictable future helps some of the cash. The fact that it's predictable will help some of the cash, some of that 5.2 trillion that's sitting on the sidelines will start to come in off the sidelines. Not a huge amount because it's not that strong yet, but some of that will start to come off, and that will be helping the second leg of this stock rally go, the new bull. But it's not going to be enough to make it crazy. And it's going to mostly go into the tech stocks, although it will broaden out. All right, Does that seem about right for the mood? Does that seem about right for the attitude, kind of the general feeling that everything is kind of okay, it's comfortable, and yeah, I can start to pull some money out of my money market account and put it into equities? Does that sound about right? Well, okay, now there's the tech sector. Now that's a completely separate set of thinking right now. There's a lot of expectation that there's some real bonanzas coming out of GPT and other deep learning and AI related opportunities out there. The risk money, such as it is, will most likely be going there. Maybe some related areas like medicine, fintech, social media, but not the old industrials that don't seem to be saying, oh, here's where we're going to take advantage of AI, or we're going to take advantage of GPT or deep learning. They're not talking about that. They're not going to end up getting the risk money. That doesn't mean there won't be more money going into solid companies that are paying a dividend. That's still going to happen. As the second leg of the market starts, it will broaden out. All right. So then we have, by the way, again, tell me, is that right? Is that wrong? What do you think is good? What do you think is not good? Help me out on that. All right. In detail, please. That's the best kind. I'm going to answer if it's in detail. If you give me something to chew on, I'm going to give you an answer. And I might even do another video where I come back and talk specifically to some of your questions or some of your comments. All right. Now, what about Tesla? Well, Tesla beat, even though it was only by a little. And that kept the new narrative that I started talking about. I was the first one to talk about it. A couple of months ago, I started talking about the new Tesla narrative. And that new narrative stayed intact after the earnings and even after the earnings call. Okay. The narrative is that the company can make money even in this economy, that it's okay for them to lower their margins a little bit because even after they lowered their margins are better than any other auto company. And even if the amount of earnings were less than hoped, they still threw off a ton of cash, even as they build multiple factories and look around for locations to build even more. And they're putting lots and lots of money into R&D and into the development of all these new products. There is no company, none, zip zero, put right in the comments below if you can tell me one other company that has the growth trajectory like Tesla at the size that they are, at the way that they've already been growing all these years, that they're going to continue to grow at these numbers just with the existing product lines, not based on any kind of a big, it won't be a surprise to you and me, but a big surprise to the market of Optimus, our full self-driving, our robotaxi, our dojo, go down the list. So many different opportunities that could just add an entire another layer. So I think there's also the kind of a new part of the narrative here coming in, that Tesla has won. I think people are beginning to see that because they're starting to see the stats. They're starting to see that Tesla's number one car in the world, the Model Y. They're starting to see that Tesla's becoming the number one brand for luxury models in the world everywhere. They're starting to see that other kinds of BEVs are not selling through. And even the ones that are selling through are doing so at no profit. So they're beginning to see that Tesla has won, as I think as Stephen Mark Ryan likes to say, they've won the decade. It's not like they've won this year or next year. No, it's over for all of the rest of the auto companies in terms of the BEV market. They may come in second, they may come in third, they may come in fourth, they may start making money, they may do fine, and NIO and BYD and, maybe Ford, some of these companies might do enough to make it a really good stock investment. Okay. But the strong recent data showing large percentages of legacy luxury buyers going to Tesla away from those legacy automotive companies, and Tesla holding their customers better than anybody else, not just recently, but like forever, is starting to infiltrate the mind. It's becoming part of the narrative and will continue to. Then you have another part of the new narrative, and that is that the other automakers just can't compete and that they have capitulated. They've given up. They're no longer trying to compete with Tesla. Well, that could be because the CEOs have said so. Think Ford, think General Motors, think Toyota, think Volkswagen, think go on down the line. These companies have said so, but also because their cars are not selling, as I just mentioned a minute ago. We can see that they're backing up on showroom in parking lots. They're not selling through. They're just not a good enough value to take away from the Tesla going up 50% a year as promised, year after year after year, while these other companies are going, oh, nobody wants our EVs. Well, we all understand that. So this capitulation now includes another massive possible bonus. And this is one that the market fully understands and could truly see. And that is the part of the story which starts to see other OEMs licensing Tesla's technology. This is, Intel inside. They've seen this story before. And they know that the automotive companies for a very long time have just been in the business of design and marketing and assembly. That's what they've been doing. And they've been buying all this stuff from other people. Ford said they have, I think it's 160 suppliers just for their software suite. So this is a normal way for them to do business. So buying it from Tesla instead of buying it from some other company is going to become the obvious solution if they really, really want to compete. So it's not just going to be about, as you hopefully saw in my video on Friday with Larry Goldberg, and the other one that you saw on Saturday morning with Brian Wang, it's not just going to be licensing the technology for FSD, it's going to be licensing the entire suite of software necessary to run the car, to get over-the-air updates, to do everything, because it's one solution, it's one supplier, it's probably going to be way less expensive and way better. Why wouldn't they just buy the entire suite from Tesla? And then starting to put the Tesla FSD on cars that are already on the road, because why not? Numbers of people have said, why would Elon want to put FSD on ICE cars that are already on the road when that's going to slow down the transition to an all BEV world? Well, no, nothing is going to slow that down, because you can't make the cars fast enough. And believe me, it will be across multiple other brands soon. They're going to get it. They're going to figure it out, and you'll see. But everybody, now over 50% of the people are interested in getting a BEV car. The total amount of BEVs is going to be just restrained by factory capacity. Second of all, Elon has said in the past, once FSD becomes possible, it will be an ethical miss. It would be wrong ethically to keep it back from anybody. So it'd be wrong for the government not to allow it. It'd be just as wrong for Tesla not to try to make it available on existing cars. Lives saved is what the word is going to be. And it's going to be phenomenal, and it'll be hugely profitable. And it's just going to be one more thing. And that doesn't even count. That doesn't even count, of course, the possibility of robotaxi and Optimus and any one of those things, any one of those deals could all of a sudden take Tesla to the moon. But now we have one more thing, and that one more thing could be just one OEM saying, yes, we're going to take FSD, or yes, we're going to take the entire suite of your software and replace 160 suppliers. All right. Now we come to another new part of the narrative. The stock is worth its current value. This is a new thing. Almost every time we hear a comment right now, it's like, well, we're going to put it on hold, or yeah, we still have a buy, and it's right around the price that it is right now. But you know what? Tesla's got a great story going forward, and it is worth what it is selling for now. Boy, it's like we haven't heard that ever. Okay, so that is a new part of the narrative. But there's no company anywhere with this mix of auto, truck, utility, and a future which includes AI and robotics. There's no other company like it. It's just one more way that they're completely different than any other company. And that is where the market is headed once they get the rest of the story, that this is an AI and robotics play just by itself that can drive the stock. All right, so as I've noted in an earlier video, there's a solid case to be made that Tesla will be at 800 plus later this year. How do I get to that? Did you see the video? I said it could be up to 800. Well, I said at the time 808. It turns out I should have said 820. I'm not calling that number, but the stock was at 410 at November 3, 2021. And the stock today in November will be doing double the sales and double the profits. So if the market itself is on that second leg of the bull, or maybe even starting the third leg of the bull, at some point, technically, logically, the stock should be at 820, should be double, just like double the earnings, double. But not only is it double in terms of the earnings and They've had 2 more years of execution. They've had 2 more years of new products coming out. They've had 2 more years of people being able to see the future. And they've added Optimus, and now they've added the reality of this potential licensing part of the business. Now, I talked about the licensing part of the business in the Elon Musk mission. We talked about all of this in the Elon Musk mission. If you haven't bought your copy yet, it's a great read. I'm telling you, it's something you should read or listen to. So all of my books are available on Audible, in addition to on Kindle and on regular paperback. And some of them are available in hardback as well. And we sell quite a few hardback copies, surprisingly. All right. So I mentioned again these videos over the weekend. I've already talked about that. So what about the short term? Well, I will do a video later today, probably, it might be tomorrow, where I'm going to talk about the expectations for earnings in Q3 and Q4, and that will give you some idea of what to expect as we go through the rest of this year. But what about this week? Well, today set the tone. We have seen Tesla break away from all the other indices, I guess that's the right pronunciation. We've seen Tesla break away from all the other indices about a few weeks ago. It had been following NASDAQ some days, or what I call the Cathie Wood stocks, the risky growth stocks. It had been following those risky growth stocks for over a year. And that's why it dropped 70%. It was following those guys. They dropped 70% because Tesla's narrative was the equivalent of those risky growth stocks. A lot of those companies are really strong companies, but they dropped 70 or 80% in their value. But Tesla, of course, while they were doing that, they were making tons of money and growing at 50% a year in real products being sold. Anyway, so I'm going to say that the trading this week the trading today tells me that we're going to get to 300 sooner than I thought. It probably won't take us to the end of the first week of August, although it might. But we might start trading. We're going to go to 300. We will bounce back to 285, and we will stay in that trading range, a fairly narrow trading range. This will be unusual. 285 to 300. It might go to 305 or even 315. So that would give it a little more of a trading range, but it's going to sit there until we get one of the major catalysts. And we just added a new potential catalyst. One would be the Cybertruck announcement. Number 2 would be the Highland announcement, which may or may not get the push to 350, but it might if the car really, really looks good. And then the third now would be a license agreement with an OEM, and that might take us beyond 350. All right. So again, let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. I was the very first person to call the new narrative for Tesla and the rise to 300 in earnings. Go back, check it out. Nobody 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, thought that Tesla was going to be at 300 by earnings day. I said it. I was also the first one after Cathie Wood said it. Immediately, I came on the next morning and I said, we're now in a bull market. Nobody else. I don't care the CNBC guys. I don't care any of the other YouTubers or anybody on Twitter. Nobody was saying that we were in a bull market until Cathie said it. And I immediately saw it and reported it to you. Now I'm seeing another shift in the narrative. I saw the shift in the narrative on Tesla. I saw the shift on the narrative of the stock market. Now I'm telling you there's another shift, and the shift is going to give us the second leg of the bull. It's going to be heavily concentrated in the tech stocks, and Tesla is going to win as a result of it. That's it. Okay. I think that's the story. Please let me know what you think. If this was helpful, get me to 100 Patreon. Come on now. This is the time. Go down below and hit that thing. Go and sign up. You get 7 days for free. You can look at the 5 reports that I've already put up there in the last couple of days, showing where I think Tesla is going to do by the numbers, by the division, the energy division, the robotics division, the semi-truck division, and then in general, the 2023 and 2024 for the company. Those are the 5 spreadsheets I just put up. If you join Patreon, you get 7 days for free, plenty of time to look at those 5 and then make your decision whether you're okay with $5 or $10 a month. All right, that's it. Buy the books, join Patreon, and I'll see you later today. It's been great talking to you.